Oh, gonna walk away, gonna walk away. That's a good one there, Hughes. Hughes, who sang that?
David Ruffin.
Oh, David Ruffin. Yeah. Okay.
Listen
Yeah.
to that voice.
Wasn't he part of Temptations? Wasn't David Ruffin part of Temptations?
Yeah, I think he made this on a single though.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Without
yeah,
them.
yeah. Cause yeah, I think they had to part ways. Yeah.
Marlon don't know nothing about that.
Look, he gonna figure it out now. Cause I forgot about that one.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back at it again. Sorry for the delay of this show, but we're always here to give you guys the best. Introducing Spitting Sports with your host, Marlon Jackson, my co-host Gary Hughes, and our always great guest to have on the show, Mr. King. So today's topics we're going to be discussing are behaviors of the fans and the attitudes of the fans, and behaviors of the players and attitudes of the players. And by that I mean certain attitudes that are acceptable and certain attitudes that aren't acceptable that we need to address, because if we don't, as role models, we need to hold ourselves accountable for things, because everybody is always watching something. So with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and start off looking at yesterday's playoff game between the Suns and Lakers, and it's surprising because they're gonna blame injuries for everything, but I think it's more of attitudes and just leadership role. Because it first starts off with the head coach. The way his attitude was during that game, it just seems like he was just lost. Like he gave up. He didn't even care what the score was going to be at the beginning of the game, man.
He got out coached.
He did, but at the same time, I look at it like he didn't even care from start to finish. From when I was looking at him through the whole game, and it was just like
when you get in your feelings, it can be perceived that way. He got out coached. We all know I'm a New York Knicks fan. Nate McMillan out coached Thibodeau. Thibodeau had no answers. Vogel had no answers. I can do nothing with Devin Booker. Nothing.
And it's so funny because how I was saying yesterday, and me and my dad were talking about, he was like, once you get a certain age, in basketball, Father Time catches up with you. And he was like, LeBron's not that athletic person that he used to be when he was winning them championships and with the Heat and the Cavs. And
Father Time is undefeated.
And, he's not that person. He can go down court and body you every time. Now he has to be that type of person when he's taking jump shots and taking layups and
his jump shot was never that good.
It never was. He developed one. I'll give him that, but it just never was.
It did get better, but about 2 years ago, he should have started working on that. Because I don't want it to come out the wrong way. Not only did you lose a step, everybody else is younger. You got 18 and 19-year-olds leaving college bag coming to the league. Devin Booker is what, 22?
22. They ain't even been in the league for longer than 5 years, King. That's
but you have these younger players. I like the Joker.
Jokic, yeah.
He's not. The game has changed and it's passed you by. And I'm surprised that LeBron didn't recognize the fact.
Now, did you think that his attitude yesterday, King, was a good attitude for somebody who's supposed to be the leader of the NBA, so-called? Is that what they call him? I guess the face of the NBA.
No. When you left the previous game with 6 minutes left, went straight to the locker room, you knew it was over then.
His ankle was over then.
I'm sorry, say it again.
His ankle was hurting. High ankle sprain.
Yeah, my ankle hurt too. my ankle hurts too. But then he came back out and played last night. And then you don't shake hands. Come on, Hughes. No, Hughes. There is no excuse for that. The only time I can ever remember that happened is with the Bad Boy Pistons. And that was our entire team that said, we're a team, we're not shaking anybody's hand. Get away from me, Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen. Have a good day. No, this is you with your lip poked out.
Now, do you think that's bad sportsmanship doing that?
Back in the day, Marlon outside, they had a name for us, man, when we acted like that.
What they call you, Hughes?
And it was what they would call a female dog.
A girl. You're a girl. You acting like a girl. You lost, man. Suck it up. And I'm not about to give you the excuses about the injuries and all that, because when you won last year, there were players that opted out. There were players that were injured in that bubble.
Right.
And you won that ring, so you won that ring. But
Mhm.
now it's clear two things. AD is the best player on that team. That's number one. And number two, you a sore loser. That's clear.
And I think that bubble championship should have an asterisk next to it.
Your man Coverdale says the same thing. He's like, man, that wasn't no real championship, but it is a real championship. If you're gonna put an asterisk by that, you can put an asterisk by Tom Brady's championship.
Why wasn't his real?
Because people were sick, opted out, they missed games. So everybody who won a championship last year gets an asterisk.
Well, he lost his best two defensive players when they played the Redskins, and they still won.
It don't matter. You could butt all you want to. If one championship gets an asterisk in any sport, all of them get an asterisk because it was a COVID year, and they might put an asterisk by it. Like, look, this was a COVID year, but this is who won the championship.
Who opted out of the NFL? No big time stars opted out.
Now there you go with big time stars. That's not what's important. People opted out of playing. I don't know. I can look it up. I don't know who opted out of playing. People opted out of playing here, and I don't blame them. I know a lot of college people opted out of playing, and I don't blame them. I don't blame them. I mean, look, but you got people opting out. Look, injuries are part of the game. What did they say? Your best ability is your availability.
Mm-hmm.
And I like AD, but no, it seems like every year it's a groin, it's a hamstring, and I mean, and I'm dumb enough. I take it back to when we used to play basketball, and you spent 30 minutes stretching before you even ran your laps, and then you start shooting free throws and you start practicing. They don't do that no more.
So is LeBron? Will he go down as one of the greatest ever?
Yes. But will he go down top 5? I don't know about that. Because I don't understand the GOAT conversation between Michael Jordan and LeBron. LeBron's not even Kobe.
Mm-hmm.
He's not even Kobe. So it depends on your age bracket and your frame of reference. LeBron might be third, but you ain't no Michael Jordan. Listen.
Is LeBron, should he be in front of Kareem?
Nope. Kareem was a killer. See, I like LeBron. LeBron is just not a killer. It's certain NBA players that were killers. Michael Jordan was a killer. Larry Bird was a killer. Reggie Miller was a killer. It's certain players that were killers. LeBron ain't no killer. LeBron is a good facilitator. He plays good basketball. He makes the right play. He ain't no killer. Dame time, that's a killer.
Mm-hmm.
Dame, there's not. I mean, there's not a lot of killers, man, that I can go back and be like, yeah, he'll kill you. Nah. LeBron ain't no killer. LeBron, I mean, he top 5, top 10, depending on your era. He ain't no killer. Nah.
Okay. Well, we agree on that. I don't like LeBron's. I think he's a cry. I like him. I'm not a hater, but I think he's a little crybaby. And
that crying thing went way back to Reggie Miller. Anytime somebody breathes on him or touches, you remember Reggie Miller?
Right.
And I now understand I'm a Knicks fan now, so I'm biased. But he was all like, anybody touch you, man? Play basketball.
Did LeBron play against the Knicks back in the day?
Yeah, he can play, but he gonna get it. One thing that those Knicks teams did, we didn't discriminate. If you cross that free throw line and you get in the paint, you gonna get it. I don't care who it is.
Mm-hmm.
Dale Davis, Antonio Davis, Reggie Miller, Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, whoever. You gonna get it. Because we don't believe in layups. Ain't no layups.
Right.
And the game has changed so much to the point where I look at LeBron crying for fouls, and he does. But that's what they all do. That's what they all do. So I can't knock that hustle. If
Wait,
they call, they call.
do you think you should hold the referees accountable for that though? Because a lot of times referees do miss calls, key calls that they're supposed to call that can change the outcome.
The only time they ever held an NBA referee accountable when they sent Donnie get to jail.
Mm-hmm.
Because we all know that they playing the game with the point spread in Las Vegas. Come on, man, let's don't do that.
Yeah.
Let's don't do that. He had to actually go to jail before somebody said, you know, something's wrong. We've always known that. If you think about it, now, we've all played basketball. If you think about it, you can call a foul on every play if you want to.
Yeah, you really can. Every single play.
You really can call a foul on every play. And I've seen people shoot the ball, and then the ball don't go in, and then that foul.
Where's the foul? They put their hands up, or they just like, man, where's the foul?
And then you got to get the scream in it. You got to throw your hands up. You got to get the scream.
Man. And then they letting the play down court go. Then another team scores because they out down here arguing with the ref about the last call, and it's like,
yeah, man.
Here's a good one. Here's a good one for you, Marlon. Joel Embiid says he is so big. Is that touch foul still a touch foul, or do they have to foul him hard?
They gotta foul him hard because he's 250 something pounds, man. You can't contain him, so you gotta do something, man.
A foul is a foul. They did the same thing with Shaq.
Yeah.
Because you bigger, that does not necessarily mean you got to get fouled harder.
That's not saying you gotta get fouled harder, but you just gotta do the best with what you can by containing them, you know. And if that's foul, then go for it.
So based on that and these NBA rules, so every time somebody grabs you, that's a flagrant foul.
Yeah, that was like what happened with yesterday in that Lakers game. Remember when Morris went up and hit that dude in the face, man? They called it a flagrant one because they said he put that contact, and his facial expression after it said that it was intentional. And I'm like, I mean, that's basketball. I mean, you know, he went up on two people and expected that he was gonna get a, you know, different result.
I believe it was intentional, but that's a good old school foul.
Mm-hmm. You think so, King? Because like I said, I mean, he went straight up. You seen him put his hands up like this, and then came down. It was like, hey, you ran into me.
That's a good old school foul. Just how we get down. If you cross that free throw lane in that paint, you need to understand. You will get touched.
And there ain't gonna be no soft.
Like I said, I'm a Knicks fan, so everybody want to agree with that. But my whole thing about it is, if it's a foul in the first quarter, it's a foul in the fourth quarter because they don't call it the same way throughout the game.
Now, do you think that those attitudes that they have reflect the outcome of the game, or do you think that just already happened in general? When it comes to
you mean the attitude of the referees?
Like, no, just the attitude of the players. Like, do you think the attitude reflects the outcome of the game when they're winning or losing, or do you think that just
these players are soft. They soft. They don't know what a flagrant foul is. They soft. And I mean, it's not their fault, but the rules have changed in the NBA, so we can score more points. We can make more people watch. And I mean, and the money generated by the networks is what drives the machine. Come on, man. Look, back in the day, if you came in that paint against the Knicks or against the Pistons or against the Davis boys in Indiana, you are going to get touched. And you can get up and be as mad. You can be as mad as you want to, but what you're not going to do is swing.
Yeah. You know whose behavior to me was the weirdest behavior, but everybody used to hate playing the man was Rodman. Because I used to always watch him and Karl Malone. And he always tell Karl Malone, he'd be like, man, I'm sleeping with your mama tonight. Or he'll say something just to throw him out of the game. And Karl Malone's attitude would just change. Right then from there, it'd be that humble giant now to like, okay, I'm coming for blood. And you would always see it, but for some reason, it's just like as soon as Rodman got in the game with him, man, it took him from being that mailman Karl Malone to now a whole different type of style player that we all know he's supposed to be with the Utah Jazz. And it's just like, I guess, like I said, certain trigger words can get the players to where it's just like, all right, man, like now, instead of me focusing on winning the game, I'm focusing on making sure I can take this player out. I'm making sure I get back at him for doing what he doing. And to me, it's just like, man, you ain't gonna never win no championship like that, man, doing that, because it's like your focus, you losing your focus. Because man, this dude took you out your game because this is how you feel. You lost. Come on, man. It's the same thing with LeBron. LeBron, you've been in the league for darn near what? 18 years. You didn't won 4 titles with 3 different teams. It's like, come on, man. Like, you know, after a while, you can't do it so much.
But see, Hughes can speak to that though.
What you think, Hughes? I mean, like your behavior gonna change.
I think LeBron just gave up.
You think that's what it was, Hughes?
I mean, they showed a picture of LeBron jumping the other day before he dunked, and he still is getting this high above the rim.
Now I will tell you this, King. Remember Game 3 of the Lakers when they won Game 3 and LeBron was showboating in that game when he was doing all that crazy stuff and was smiling and was doing layups and he was this and playing around with that Suns team. I knew right then and there. I said the Suns are like, you know what? We're not allowing this to happen no more.
But shout out to Monty Williams, man.
Yeah, yeah. Taking a young Phoenix Suns team to the next round. That's good because Chris Paul hasn't made it past the first round and darn near 8+ years.
Yeah, everybody else is young except Chris Paul.
And sometimes you need that behavior of what do you call it, a veteran on there for these young guys to keep them humble enough to win games.
Do you remember when I was talking to my man Coverdale last night? He said, man, it got down to like 15 points or 12 points. And they put Chris Paul back in the game. Chris Paul went in there and took about 2 or 3 minutes to calm everybody. Hold on, man. Y'all young and dumb. Relax. Slow down.
I got to give me the ball. I'm going to control this game.
And next thing you know, you got 2 3-pointers, 2 mid-ranges. Chris Paul going back. Sit back down. They don't make them like that no more. I mean, and there are a lot of good point guards in the NBA. I'm not taking it. But, they don't make them like Chris Paul, like Rondo. Rondo can't shoot. Huh?
Chris Paul, a Hall of Famer?
Yes. First ballot.
Yeah, that's a Hall of Famer for sure.
Yes.
Just the way that he impacts the game and way he can control the game, that's a Hall of Famer.
He control the game.
I don't even look at his stats or points. I look at his leadership is what makes him a Hall of Famer.
Is he a top 10 point guard in NBA history?
Not NBA history or 50, 60 years or the past 30 years.
I would say he'd probably be a top 15. I wouldn't say top 10. He probably
it depends on how long you're talking about.
Is he better than Rod Strickland?
Yes.
I haven't watched Strickland play, so y'all got to answer that one. I haven't really
you ain't missed nothing. Rod was good, but Rod was Rod wasn't that calm and influence. Rod would get the ball, and when Rod decided he want to calm down, he will. But when Rod say, "Oh, I'm about to shoot the ball," everybody knew that. Man, move. I love Rod. Rod, look, he was a New York Knick. He played with the Wizards. I love Rod. No, he's not Chris Paul.
Now here's
Chris Paul is the best point guard in the NBA right now.
Yeah.
Nah.
Yeah, I don't
Who
think
better? Who better?
He's better than Rondo.
Man, please.
Hughes, I'm gonna need you to take your temperature.
He's better than Rondo, man.
Man, please.
Try again, man.
Rondo is still with the Lakers.
If I had to choose a guard that was going to lead my team to the playoffs or to a championship, I would definitely choose Chris Paul every single time.
That's a good try, Hughes. That was good. That was good.
I don't care what area.
Chris Paul ain't better than Russell Westbrook.
Okay, maybe I have a fever. I think you said Russell Westbrook.
I think I'm getting hot flashes. I think I'm getting hot flashes, King.
You have 4 straight years of triple doubles, man. Come on, stop playing.
What does that got to do with anything? Triple doubles, man.
That's what point guards do. That's what they.
No, that's not what they do. That's not what they do. Hughes, you know that. You was a guard.
The only reason why Oscar Robertson
controls the game.
Because the only reason why Oscar Robertson got that because he was in the era where you had to be, where you didn't have to really be as dominant to get triple doubles. You were playing against shorter guys that you were going against. Oscar Robertson was 6'6", playing point guard back in the day. Against these small white guys that are like 5'10", 5'11". I mean, I could get a triple double on them guys like that if I had that height, man.
Hughes, let me give it to you the basics so you understand. You coach girls basketball. And you are the reason that I would prefer to watch WNBA over NBA because it's not athleticism. This is the fundamentals and how you play the game. Right. Would you rather have my shooting guard run point, or would you rather have a girl that transferred and went to private school? I can't remember her name, but she was bad. She controlled that. She like, hold on, man, slow down.
Cerise.
Would you rather have her or would you rather have a legal playing point? Yeah. Oh, exactly. Because she's gonna be like, hold on, man, y'all slow down, man. We good. Right. Now she didn't have the shooting ability the League had, but she was a true point guard. Right. Russell Westbrook is a hybrid. He's a 1 and a 2, but he can't shoot. What are you going 6 for 9? He's going 6 for 19, get you 20 points, 19 rebounds.
And what, 10 assists? 10, 11 assists? I
understand what you're saying.
Yeah,
you can
but
see
he can't shoot.
You can see the difference when Chris Paul plays.
It's entirely different.
But shout out to my man Marlon. You know where Monty Williams is from, right?
Now, where's Monty Williams from?
Potomac.
Prince George's County.
Yeah, went to Potomac.
Went to Potomac High School. Came out in '89.
Yeah,
he was like a four-star athlete. Went to Notre Dame.
Okay.
You know, he played in the league for a while.
No, man. Some of those players.
I think he played with the Knicks for a minute.
Some of those stars, man, know how to coach them teams, man.
He got drafted by Philly, ended up being a journeyman, but I think he played about 12 years.
Yeah.
Good. Now, Hughes, let me ask you this, Hughes. Now we're gonna switch over, guys. Now, what do you think, Hughes, about these fans, man? How they be treating these players, man? Now that they opened up back up the courts, man, and they doing this crazy.
They need to get assault charges.
That's a felony. Exactly.
Yeah.
If you spit on somebody, if you throw something at somebody,
didn't they do that back in the day where they were trying to challenge the fans? I have seen some of the fans do that to the players back in the day, like that Pacers and Pistons brawl that happened. What was that, about 12 years ago or 10 years ago? Probably.
And that's a felony. But then what it cost Ron Artest his career.
You think so?
And that man, when Ron Artest laid down on the scores table, that man threw a beer at him and hit him in the chest.
And he went up there and he punched that man in the face.
Followed by Steven Jackson. And look, and my whole thing about it, let's be clear. If somebody hits you, if somebody hit Hughes, I'm inclined to get into that. So I may do that. But the same sense, you are in the stands. You threw a beer or a cup or popcorn or anything. That's a felony. So they need to be charged with the felonies, need to be banned for the whole year. Because I was saying banned for life, but then somebody told me, it's like, look, if I got tickets and I can't go to the game and I give you tickets, you can't ban me for life because I wasn't even there. I gave Marlon tickets. So you need to ban that person.
Right.
So that's kind of catch-22 to me. I was just like, man, whoever owns the tickets, ban them. I was like, oh yeah, people can't go to the game. You might give your man some tickets, man. It's your anniversary, man. He go to tickets to the game. Go see. But you don't know, man. Like
I'm with you guys. I think it goes more than banning, man. I think you need assault charges. I think you need to time to pay a fine, because it's just no way that you could just sit there and think that that's okay because you're upset about an outcome of a game. So you just decide to just do something to a player, man. But then if a player did that to a fan, now all of a sudden this player here is,
Ask Ron Artest. It cost him his career. He was out of the league for like a year.
Yeah, a year and a half.
He tried to come back, and then did he change his name to Meta World Peace and those type of things? But I mean, Ron Artest was acting like Ron Artest.
And then he was
not going to the stands until that man threw that stuff on him.
And then he was the other one I seen was when your boy Trae Young, man, when that dude spit on him, he didn't even know. I was like, man, spitting on me, man, that's disrespectful in general, man. Ain't no way I'm just let somebody just spit on me.
That's assault. That's assault,
man. And he's just trying to play a game of basketball, man. If you don't like the game, man, then you can leave. You have all right to leave the middle of the game if you don't like how the outcome is.
Look, the crazy thing about it is, whoever spit on that man was like, what, 3 rows from the floor? So you got some money for these tickets.
You got to.
Yeah. We're gonna ban you. You won't do that no more.
But see, knowing them, they're gonna be like, oh well, you can ban me. I'ma just, I'ma just come back next year. I'm gonna do the same thing. And they'll do that because those fans like that have a mindset to say, hey, if I'm banned, that's cool with me. Especially if you're making money, That's just it's just too
And
much,
I
man. I think
think-
they need to go to court, pay a fine, get handcuffed or locked up. I think it needs to go from there because if not, man, if you don't hold these fans accountable, it's just gonna keep doing it and keep doing it until eventually, you know what I'm saying, something's gonna happen to it. They can't control it.
Yeah, and to your point, yeah, you obviously got money for those seats, so you can pay for that seat. So you need to be banned for 82 games because it was the playoffs. So they ban you for a year, the season over. You want to try to come back? Nah, 82 games minimum, and the felony charge.
Now, did you think Westbrook should have reacted the way he did after that popcorn was poured on him? Because you seen what happened after when they got poured on, and he was trying to go back. He was trying to go back at the fan.
I think this is like the 4th or 5th time that's happened to Westbrook. I'm not about to blame Russell Westbrook if somebody throws something on me. I'm not about to blame him for his reaction. I'm not about to do that because that's who he is, and he's not wrong for that. If you throw something at me, man, I might react like that. Now I'm old. I'm 53. I can't move that fast.
Hey, I'm with the thing, but like I said, you're in a professional. What do you call it? A professional stand where everybody's watching you and the camera is always on you. So you gotta, figure out how to take that anger and switch it so that way it's not controlling the outcome of stuff that you do, because a lot of times you get they get held to a certain standard. So it's like if you're a money maker for this team and you're representing this organization, you got to be able to, I'm not saying you can't get mad, but you got to be able to humble yourself in a way to say, all right, I got to let certain things go. It was popcorn. Now, if it was something worse than popcorn, then yeah, I can agree with you 100% that you need to, stand your ground.
What's worse?
Somebody pour beer on me or spit on me or you know what I'm saying, or put like, a hot dog or pour condom or something, then I can see that. But
the fans are out of control. They're out of control.
I can shrug off popcorn, but
look, I'm a Knicks fan, and I told my wife, well, no, she's like, who are you talking to? I said, I'm talking to an inanimate object known as a TV, and they better not say nothing back, because I'm screaming and yelling at the TV. So I can imagine being caught up in the game at the moment, but I'm not about to get a charge. No. I want to know why you won't put Julius Randle in the post and let him play the 4. So when they double, he can kick it to somebody. Never mind. That's the other time.
Now you heard what they said. They was like, oh, if you a man, you heard what him and Charles Barkley said, oh, if you a man, meet me at half court. If you man enough to do this, meet me at half court, 50-50, and let's settle this. Do you think that was the proper way of doing as a analyst to say that on TV, man?
Yes and no. I mean, I get their feelings, but at the same time, they got to be professional about it. Especially if they doing the sports report, because you don't want young kids to think that's how they should handle it. But
you don't want young kids to think that they should throw popcorn on people, that they should throw beer on people, or they should spit on people.
Yeah.
So it goes both ways.
But see, when you're dealing with African American kids, and they respond like that at their games, they're gonna be treated differently.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So we just want to teach them right from wrong. And like you said, King, nobody should be able to throw anything at you or hit you or spit on you. So that's why we got to change these laws. We got to get these laws changed, these rules and these regulations changed.
Yeah. And I mean, and the funny thing about it, Hughes, these are not even laws. The MSG, the Madison Square Garden is owned by Jim Dolan. You can say, Hughes, you can't come back. You done embarrassed us on national TV. You don't spit on this man. You can't come back.
But let me ask you, it's probably gonna be the last. And do you guys think it's a money thing? Is why they don't want to ban the fans because they feel like they're gonna lose out on money if they do that, or do you think it's just the
money is generated by TV? The money is generated by you make a little money, but the money is generated by TV. Nah.
If basketball, Marlon, was mostly white boys, do you think they would let the fans get away with that stuff?
Nah, I don't think they would. Not at all.
I don't think the fans would do that.
I think they would.
Okay. Now, I'm a Carolina fan, Carolina basketball fan. I watched Grayson Allen for 4 years do some things that I thought was kind of borderline. in the ACC, tripping people, hitting people. Now he plays with Utah. Ain't nobody do nothing to him. Ain't nobody do nothing to him. And I mean, I just use his name because I have watched him. But I'm sure there are some other Caucasian players who have a little rap game to them. Didn't nobody do nothing to Larry Bird.
Right.
They should, you know, who I thought they should have do something that was Bill Laimbeer. Because Bill Laimbeer was that type of person. He come in there and do the dirtiest stuff, man, but get away with so much.
And then he go hit that baseline jumper from 12 feet out. Nah.
I seen Bill Laimbeer clotheslining people, man, on purpose.
I seen Kurt Rambis do it too. I seen Kevin McHale do it too. Come on, man. That's don't pick and choose. Wrong is wrong. Black, white, Asian, Pacific. I mean, look, no. Wrong is wrong. But the reaction of the fan is what I'm talking about. Ain't nobody do nothing to Kevin McHale. Kevin McHale. No. Yeah, Kevin McHale clothesline Rambis way back in the day. Didn't nobody in the forum throw nothing to Kevin McHale? Why is that?
Yeah.
Ain't nobody throw nothing to him. And when Rambis gave it back to him, didn't nobody throw nothing to Kevin and Kurt Rambis? But you let James Worthy do that. I think the reaction would have been different.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's Big Game James. Big James Gaines, he might close on you, but he gonna drop 28 and get 10 rebounds. So you have a reason to throw something at him because you're mad.
Because you know he gonna do you dirty every game. He gonna come in there and get you 28 points and it's 10
rebounds. Kurt Rambis gives you them 8 points, them 7 rebounds, them 4 or 5 hard fouls.
But sometimes you need guys like that because, you know, since you want to keep your stars in the game, you say, hey, Kurt, go out there and take this guy out for me, man.
It's just like hockey. It's just like hockey. Every team has a goon on it. Wilson for the Capitals.
Yeah.
Don't do that because Wilson will go get you. You are not going to touch Ovechkin.
Man, he's just like your boy that used to play with the Redskins, man. That safety before he died, man. Taylor, man. And he was just like that. He was that type of person. He'd go out there, man, and hit you. Wouldn't even care about getting a flag, man. That's just how he was.
Because next time I don't have to get a flag. You'll be scared to catch that ball.
Yeah.
I don't have to get that one good 15-yard penalty, and that's in a message. And don't do that, man. You go across, he might get you.
And that's how
the thing about it is, I didn't think he was dirty. He was just very good. But he meant that. 6'2", look, 6'1", 6'2", 225, 230. You can cross this middle if you want to.
Right.
But that's how the game used to be played back then.
It really was.
I will take your head off. You come
across. Lawrence Taylor was the same way, King, wasn't he? When he was coming up, man, doing the same thing with them quarterbacks with that whole Joe Theismann thing, man. And he did that, and it was just like
that was not illegal. That was not an illegal play. But yeah, I can look. LT gonna head slap you and yeah.
I mean, but like I said, I feel like at the end of the day, sometimes those attitudes and those behaviors are needed just to control a game when you're losing, or just to control an atmosphere to change the momentum. Yeah, because if you don't send a message, it's hard for a team to go in there and take you seriously when you're on the field or you're on the court.
Yeah, and you had to send a message to them fans. You cannot throw something at a player. You cannot spit on the player. You can cuss them out all day.
Yeah, I'm with you. You may not like the outcome of the game, but that doesn't give you the right to do what you did as a fan or a player. And I look at it with players too. And to close it out, I just feel like at the end of the day, everybody needs to be held accountable for everything that's being done in the industry of the sports. If you're a basketball player and you're saying things to a fan and you're, going back and forth, John, with them, I think you need to be held accountable for that because that's unacceptable. You know that wait,
Marlon. Why is it unacceptable? As much noise as Reggie Miller taught to Spike Lee.
I'm with you when it comes to popcorn, but if you're arguing with the fan, you can ignore that fan and continue to play your game because that fan is they're just there just to get in your head because they want their team to win. As a grown man, sometimes you know how it is. Where you want to? Sometimes you just want to bop somebody, but you know how to walk away and say, "All right, look, I'm a professional. I'm making millions of dollars. I'm gonna continue to. I'm not gonna draw back and forth with you."
Money has nothing to do with it. Don't do that. Money has nothing to do with it. Don't do that because everybody wants to justify. Well, we pay their salaries. No, you don't. You really don't. ESPN, TNT, TBS. That's who pays their salary. So you're absolutely right, man. But I just get kind of frustrated with them about, well, we pay your salary. You know,
I feel you. And you know how those owners are, because the owners are the first one to say that, man. We're the ones who signed you and control your contract. No, you don't, because if you did, you know what I'm saying, I wouldn't be able to get traded. I wouldn't be able to have the player option or team option to leave and still get paid after leaving your team.
Mm-hmm.
So
William Roden wrote this book, $1 Million Slave. Great book. And he was a sportscaster, a sports writer. And it was about the exploitation of the black athlete. We're going to pay you to be quiet. You heard what Laura Ingraham said, man, shut up and dribble. Really? Shut up and dribble. Yeah, shut up and dribble. Really? LeBron said something. It might have been right after the George Floyd incident or something. He said, oh, man, just shut up and dribble. Yes.
I'm with you. Like I said, at the end of the day, I feel like everybody has to be held accountable. They may be held accountable in different ways, but everybody needs to be held accountable for the actions or behaviors that they cause at these professional games or outings. Because at the end of the day, people are trying to enjoy the games, and we can't enjoy a game if you have one person who's coming in there and doing things that's not acceptable in the game or in that atmosphere. And it goes both ways, players and I'm not taking sides with players or with the fans, but I'm saying everybody needs to be held accountable, and they need to do a better job with the rule situation as far as holding these people accountable. Because if not, it's going to continue to keep happening, and everybody that's behind us is going to think that it's okay to do that, in the sports industry.
And the crazy thing about it, Marlon, is the domino effect. Why did the man at the Washington Wizards game try to run onto the court? It's the domino effect. Now, that's what really scares me, because it's the copycat crime. Why you trying to run on the court? For what?
What was your purpose? Exactly. What was your reason for running on a Wizards game court?
That's what scares me, man. This copycat effect. That's why I said, man, charge him with a felony, ban him.
Handcuff them. Let everybody know, like Shaq said, let everybody know who they are. Show us your face. Since you voted to do that stuff, show us your face. So everywhere you go, we know that this is the guy right here.
Oh, that's dummy right there.
That did that. And I will leave it at that. So with that being said, you guys, we wanted you guys to continue watching this show, continue to just, hold, ourselves and everybody else responsible for just actions that happen. And we want you guys to continue to keep supporting, subscribing, continue to keep liking, continue to keep watching, continue to just be a great sports fan and understand the do's and don'ts and the outcomes of certain situations and things that you can and can't do when it comes to the sports industry. Because that's all we try to do when we do our show, is just bring you guys the best way we know how. And like I said, continue to keep subscribing, continue to keep liking, continue to keep following. I guarantee you there will be more to come.